Hello, my name is Megan O'Russell.
And my name is Christopher Russell, and welcome back to Page by Page, writing the book in real time. I am coming to you this week with glasses on because, as Megan will tell you, I am very bad at calling about medical things for myself. So my right contact ripped, and I don't have any more contacts. Rip.
How long have you had the prescription?
I don't even know, man. It could have been a decade. I have no clue. No, it's not a decade, but it has been like a couple of months. No, it wasn't. Are you? No, it wasn't.
We got our eyes checked before we went north for the Comic-Cons.
No.
Yep. I have been telling you to order your new contacts since April.
It's really been since April?
It's really been since April.
I'm cutting this out. I'm kidding. I'm not. Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, so cheers to it taking you May, June, July, August, September. So 5 months, May, June, July, August. Here's to 5 months later.
As long as it's taken me to get these videos up, am I right?
Oh, you said it, not me.
And this week, the beer is pumpkin once again because we had an extra one in the fridge, and I am currently on medication where I shouldn't be drinking much alcohol, so I'm not. I'm having a little tiny portion in the glass.
Look at you modeling responsibility.
Well, look, I don't mess around with stuff that is like, hey, this could damage your liver if you drink a lot of booze. I'm like, nope, well, no.
I've heard organ transplants are very expensive, so I appreciate that. Good for you.
Yeah. So since last we met, we've had a lot of really fun things happen.
You finally investigated ordering new contacts.
I did. And I can't get anywhere because they won't answer the phone. It's fine. I misplaced my prescription.
You know what would be hilarious?
What?
If they just closed and now you can no longer have access. If it was like, sorry, they closed 3 days ago and now that prescription's gone.
This lens crafter's been closed for 84 years. Yeah. So getting back to what I was saying, we both had family in town recently. I actually got to see my little sister for the first time in 6 years, which was really, really exciting. What was really cool was the fact that we got to go to Islands of Adventure. The last time she went, she is 34. The last time she went is when she was 12 and I was 18. It was she was 11 and I was 17 because it was for my senior trip. No, she had turned 12. Sorry. She has a May birthday. I have a September birthday. Doesn't matter. Anyway, so it had been a long time since she'd been. And she was like, I'm excited to see what's different. And I was like, oh, sweet baby child. So much is different. It is such a different park now.
For those of you who aren't theme park junkies, Islands of Adventure is one of the two parts of Universal Orlando.
North Campus. Because they now have a water park and which is also North Campus, and then Epic.
Yes. So one of the four parts, of the two older main parts.
Yeah. Islands of Adventure opened in 99, I want to say. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My mom was here. We didn't get out and about very much because she was really here to help me with my foot, which I finally get this post-surgery wrap off tomorrow.
Yes, we hope. We'll see.
No, they're taking this wrap off tomorrow.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad.
Well, because they have to look at it.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just got to look at it.
And so they're not going to put this back on.
Yeah, that's
no
true.
matter what
You're
happens,
getting a new wrap.
This ace bandage that has been my constant companion in this cat-fueled household for the last 2+ weeks dies tomorrow.
I know you're so excited.
Because I love my babes, but we run a very well-washed household. Because, when I'm in charge of cleaning things,
do we? I've been trying.
We run a well-washed household.
I am doing my best.
You may not always think it, but our house is very consistently washed and vacuumed because we have 3 cats, one of whom sheds like a beast.
The sad thing is that it doesn't matter how often you vacuum. As soon as you're finished vacuuming, there's a tumble.
But you have to do it a lot in order to have bare minimum maintenance. And I love you, but your bare minimum maintenance is very minimum.
Shoddy, yeah.
You try, and I love you for how much you're doing.
I do, and
I really need this nasty ass ace bandage off my foot.
Yeah, I think I can see hair from all 3 babes. Yep.
Yeah, you can differ. There is so much hair on it. I have lint rolled it multiple times.
I love that you've lint rolled your splint.
It doesn't look better. I need I get the concept of like seal that shit up nice and tight. Nothing will get in there, but the outside of this is so gross and I really need a new one. I'm sorry for anyone who's squeamish who's listening, especially if this is your first time in the podcast, but like it doesn't look like anything surgical.
No.
It looks like someone wore the same sock for 2 weeks in a house with 3 shitty-ass cats.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, it honestly, for having had it on for 2 weeks, it doesn't look bad.
No, it's not really gross. Doesn't. It's just catty. Like, it means I don't like wearing things that have been, like, cat shed more than one day because I understand that they're animals. So you have to wash things a lot when you have cats.
And in case your surgeon is listening to this, of course the cats haven't been sleeping in the bedroom with us.
They haven't been anywhere near my splint. Ever, not even once. Wink, no.
Yeah. But something else fun happened since last we met.
Which I didn't do at all. I did not go to there and do 2 days on my feet.
Yeah. Well, no, you weren't on your feet.
I wasn't on my feet. I was zooming around on my knee scooter.
You were zooming around.
So YA by the Bay it was only its second time. I hope it gets to come back again for next year.
Yeah, it's so great.
But YA by the Bay is a really cool event where they bring in school groups to talk to a bunch of authors and do panels and workshops and all kinds of stuff. Both years they've actually had R.L. Stine as their keynote speaker, so that's been very cool. But I love it because you get to actually spend time talking to teens who really, really want to be authors or writers or journalists when they grow up. And it's such a cool energy from them. And it's so cool to watch them realize, like, oh, wait, real people are authors. This isn't some distant dream I could maybe in a fairyland achieve. This is like a job people have. And watching them make that realization and helping them talk through these stories that are going to be the first novels they ever write, like, getting to do that is really cool. So it was worth zooming around on the knee scooty for 2 days when it perhaps was not the wisest action, but I think it was very worth it.
It 100% is. As I told everyone at the event who was a part of the event, and they were like, so it was a good event? And I was like, honestly, of the events that we do throughout the year, I think that it is the most important one. I really do. For that reason. I know I'm going to treat this like I'm interviewing you after the chapter, but 2 points I want to touch on about YA by the Bay is, one, you just talked about how the students can see that, hey, there are people who have this as a job. And that was something that you brought up in one of your panels. And I think that was really interesting because I think a lot of us don't think about it being a job, right?
Well, that's the thing. And I think I'm going to pull out my little indie author stool. Yeah. But there is still and I'm going to make some trad authors mad, but there is still this very like, oh, I was selected by the elite mentality of trad authors of like, it's this lottery of whether or not you get to have this career. Yeah. And like, to a point it is. If you're talking about like getting a yacht, buying a new fancy house, like those kinds of things, it is kind of a lottery because it's what hits the algorithm, what picks up big, what hits the right keyword at the right part of the news cycle.
Yes.
Like those things can all be very variable.
Yes.
But now that being an indie author is a career and that the resources exist to help indie authors publish professionally. Yes. And in a lot of cases, more professionally than some publishers.
Boy, oh boy, you're not wrong.
Ooh, but it's true. Yeah. I won't lay out my receipts because I'm polite. But that with all of that in place, it becomes a very entrepreneur situation.
Yes.
Where it's this career is what you make of it. It is what you put into it.
Yes.
And like, yes, I choose to not write in one of the super popular genres. I don't write in romance. I don't write in thriller. Yep. I don't write in cozy murder mystery. So like, those are some big career mistakes that I refuse to correct.
They're not mistakes. They're choices. They're choices.
As an entrepreneur, it's a mistake. But it's one of those things where you can choose to do this as a career.
Yeah.
And some of it, like any career, does require competence. It does also require having the right temperament.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to be a good nurse if you can't handle bodily fluids.
Right.
You're not going to be a good teacher if you can't hold your pee. Like, it's one of those things where, like, yeah,
never considered that.
There's some things that maybe you're not going to be good at that are going to preclude you from this career. But sans those problems, there's really nothing to keep you from being an author now.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it shocks traditional authors and it makes them mad because it dilutes their chosen one syndrome, where they like to feel very special and like they are the 1 in 10,000 and, oh, I'm so fancy. And it's like, that's great. But I have more than 500,000 readers on Amazon and you have 25. Like, I don't know how to help you here. So,
man, you were going for the jugular.
So, well, no, someone actually told me that they had 25 copies of their book sold. And I was like, well, that's why they didn't pick up book 2. No. But they were still acting like they were very fancy and I was not. And I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But
it honestly, and this isn't just her talking, like I've seen it too. I've seen the way that traditionally published authors will often look at indies and they're like,
they will flat out turn their backs to you at tables. Like, it is the worst high school bullying.
It's pretty remarkable.
Which is why I love the indie author community, because the indie author community is not like that.
No, not generally. There are a few bad apples,
well,
but
there are a few bad apples everywhere,
Yeah.
but the traditional author community is not nearly as friendly.
No, it's a little more toxic.
Especially if you are an indie. They tend to think that you are destroying them. And the thing is, we are. Because, well, not just because it's so much easier to make a career as an indie author.
Yes.
So there's more of us actually living off of writing.
Yes.
But also because there is this mystique of like only the chosen beloved who have climbed the giant mountain and been blessed by the fairy get to be published. And when no, there are a lot of talented people who are saying, fuck the fairy, I'm doing it myself. Then no, being chosen by the fairy stops being as special because fuck you, your book's not actually that good. You let 20 different editors get their hands on it. They diluted the meaning. They took out half the sex. And now it's like, who is this? What's the point of this anymore? What happened here? And also your cover art sucks. So it's like, yeah, it is damaging it for them.
Yeah.
Because you're losing the crown.
Yeah.
So that part sucks. But also don't be an asshole to indies just because we make more money than you.
Okay, you might make me cut this, but my favorite part
Are you loving this rant? We haven't even
I'm loving. I know we haven't even got. We're a ways into the episode. We haven't even touched the chapter yet. No, I think this is great. Not
all trad authors are mean.
No, gosh, no.
I would give it about 55% are mean.
Oh man, see that's still sad though.
It is sad.
But what's remarkable to me, and this is the part that I feel like you're going to make me possibly cut out, is I could at least wrap my head around it if you were, there's no excuse to be an asshole about stuff like this, but if you were published with Knopf, if you were published with Penguin Random House, like if you were one of their big authors, then like I could at least see like
you were one of their big authors.
I would say that's the thing. So, okay, yeah, so not even those houses, but if you were, which I have no reason to believe that Moss or Bardugo or Aviard are horrible people. Like Aviard, I love watching her on TikTok. She's great.
That's why I said 55%.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the people who have succeeded that far and gotten that far have probably gotten that far because they have good karma along the way.
Right.
So the people who succeed are generally not the assholes.
But what's amazing to me is
assholes tend to get stuck around the middlings.
Sure. But what's amazing to me is the people who are that way when they have signed, and they have their place, but when they have signed with a small press, and I'm like, dude, Dude, like, yes, it's cool. I'm not taking that away. And that's something I want you guys to know is we're not taking that away from anybody.
And there are some awesome small presses that are great.
My gosh, yes, there are. What is the Quirk Books, right? That does the Miss Peregrine series. Yeah. Great press out of Pennsylvania, I want to say.
I think it's out of like Philly or something.
I think so, but
there are lots of really cool ones. They might have been bought by one of the big guys by this point. Everybody consolidates. Yeah. But there are lots of small presses, and especially when authors are setting out, like, that can be really valuable. Absolutely. Because it can be an education.
It was huge,
to have someone holding your hand through that. But it's the whole, I was chosen, so therefore I am better than you and no more than you. And it's like, oh, honey, do you really? And even the people who have signed with big publishing houses and have a 2 or 3 book contract, they're not necessarily... Like, this is going to sound so shady. They're probably going to make less on that full contract than I make in a month on Amazon.
Ugh.
Because right now, getting any kind of advance, so if they get a $500 advance, how hard is it going to be for them to earn out that advance right now? Which means they sold their work for $500, and then maybe they'll get $15, $20 down the line.
That is fascinating.
So it's like you're dissing people and ignoring them and treating them like they don't matter when you spent 10 years working on 3 books that have made you like what? $3,000?
The way that you explain it makes it sound like the publishing industry, at least the trad publishing industry, is becoming a slightly less shady version of Motown.
I mean, it kind of is where
That's
they do
messed up.
abuse authors because they offer you these really, really low advances.
Right. It's not like the days of Stephen King when I don't remember. His advance for Carrie was huge.
Well,
right?
And some people do still get these amazing advances, but most of them are none or very small. Mm-hmm. And then you're not going to get very much on the dollar for every copy sold.
Right. No, very little.
Very few authors and trad houses get any support with publicity. So a lot of these authors are spending their own money out of pocket to publicize their books when the publishers are then taking a bigger cut of that sale than the authors are getting.
Absolutely. Wow.
So if you look at it, unless you break huge, have a massive backlist with a publishing house that is willing to continually boost your books and keep them in print and allow you to price pulse and things so that you can keep interest going with those books. Then really being an indie author is the only way to be an author for a living.
Yeah.
But people still look down on it because they're like, how dare you do that? It's a shortcut. It's unprofessional.
Shortcut my ass.
But that's how they look at it.
It is such hard work.
And it drives me fucking batty.
Yeah, I believe you.
I feel like there should be a normal version of this episode of the podcast and then an extended rant edition.
No, we're keeping... So this is really fascinating. This is kind of going back to a book and a dream vibes, right? Like this is...
Which is what the Page by Page podcast was before the traumatic brain injury.
Yes, back in 2019, 2020. We even had some episodes in 2021, I believe, but 2021 is where the world literally came crashing down. But this is kind of going back to the roots of the podcast. I think it's great. I think it's fascinating. Hopefully that you've enjoyed the ride too. We are going to get into the chapter, but before we do, I did want to touch on one other thing. This is going to be much quicker, but I thought that it was so... No, it will be. There's not as much to talk about here, but it was so beautiful. One of my favorite moments was when there was a young woman who had some sort of autoimmune. And can you regale us a little bit with that? Because it was this is why this event is so damn important, is for moments like this.
Not just because it makes me go on my soapbox.
I love that you go on your soapbox. And I love that you're kind of like, yes, you were not the only indie there, but you were the indie there.
I'm like the indie in the room that no one wants to let talk because I'm going to say some shit they don't like.
Yeah.
No. So what happened was I came out of one of my panels where I said some shit about being an indie author that trad authors didn't like. And this girl was really excited to see me. And I was like...
Oh, she had a whole fan club. There were 6 students down at your table just being like, is she here? Is she coming? I'm like, she's got another panel, y'all. They're, okay, how long? I was like, I don't know, 30 minutes? We'll wait. I was like, okay.
But she was really excited because this young woman didn't think that a spoonie, meaning someone with an autoimmune disorder or who is chronically ill and suffers from energy issues, anything like that, could be an author. And I'm not sure what her medical nonsense is. But
wait, can you talk? Why do you call it medical nonsense?
Because it's all fucking nonsense when it's fucking your body over every day. Yeah. But I don't know what her medical nonsense is. But whatever it is, she is a spoonie. And she was under the impression that spoonies couldn't be authors, which couldn't be farther from the truth, because the author community is filled with spoonies. And I don't know if it's because we're just so good at disassociating or if it's because we have more time to like sit with our thoughts because we can't run around as much.
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, there are a lot of spoonies in the author community. And this girl was near tears because she thought that since she was a spoonie, she'd never get to be an author. And I was like, oh, honey, no, this is like the best job for you.
Yeah.
And she was so happy.
She was so happy. Also, I think that part of it could be that as a spoonie, you were literally strategizing every single day. Like, so you are getting a mental workout every day just in how you spend those spoons, which if you didn't get to read the Spoon Theory article, your spoons are your currency. That is your energy currency. And when you're out, you're out. You don't get to take a nap and have them back. Like, it's not like the rest of us who don't have an invisible illness that are able to recoup some of those spoons. Or maybe if we end the day with some spoons, those carry over into the next day. That's not how it works with spoonies. This is something that I have learned being with somebody who has an autoimmune disorder, which was diagnosed 17 years ago. So it takes a while to wrap your head around what all of this means. And when you're not living with somebody with it, and I wouldn't ever say that I am an expert. I'm not. But I know a lot about it. And yeah, it's just, it was cool to see that interaction though. That was just neat. Bringing it back to that. Okay. So
soapbox
with all
away.
Of that, soapbox is away.
Deep meaning away.
Yep.
Beer cheers.
Box eye away. Yeah. Beer has been cheersed.
Previously on.
Again. Previously on. Don't pop the mic.
Diary of a blood-marked werewolf.
You can talk, just don't pop the mic.
The Ethereum trio is back together and figuring out that life in Laureldale might be a little worse than they'd hoped. Not only do we still have the kidnapper on the loose, Ella believes that there might be a separate murderer lurking in Laureldale. But tomorrow is field day and excitement can't wait for anyone. And yeah, I'm just going to stop there because the intro is really long. So welcome to today's episode of Laureldale.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I am going to now shift and move the microphone. I'm going to do it live.
For a new ace bandage.
I am so excited for you.
Every time I wiggle my toes, I can't wait to have something clean to wiggle my toes against.
I have no words. Okay, so
hopefully you do. I typed a few thousand of them for this episode.
You did.
But okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Thank you so much. Without further ado, I proudly present to you Laureldale Book 2, Diary of a Blood-Marked Werewolf by Megan O. Russell, Chapter 13, Set Up. I'd wanted a second alone with Caleb, a chance to talk about the secret that wasn't mine to tell, but the bell rang before we'd gotten past choosing a casual handoff point, so the Ethereum trio of crime-fighting teens had to scurry from the secret vault with barely enough time for Violet to drop me off in history class. By drop me off, I mean Violet gripped my elbow hard enough to leave inconveniently suspicious bruises on my now visible arm. I'd used my sweater to soak up blood, leaving me in a tank, which of course meant a nice flutter of whispers about my tattoo for the rest of the day, not releasing me from her werewolf death grip until my ass was in my seat. I scrambled for a spark of useful anger for the finger marks on my arm, but now that I'd pointed out Laureldale's potential / really fucking probable two-villain problem, Violet clinging to me like she was ferrying a ward through a sea of furies felt too close to justified. Fortunately for me, Beatriz, with her "can't wait to watch you burn, bitch" glare, was the largest threat lurking in Mr. Vargas's class. I tossed a vague hope to the cosmos that Beatriz only loathed me on Haley's behalf before sinking into a lovely guilt spiral over my undeniable wisp of gratitude that I hadn't gotten a moment to talk to Caleb. Not because I didn't want to bury myself in his arms, feel him breathe, and listen to his heartbeat. Because Caleb angry at faceless monsters was better than Caleb clinging to numb, and the 600 apologies I owed him could very fucking well shove him back toward the dark void of despair, and I'm a fuck who needed her only two Etherean allies functional. Only local Etherean allies, Ella. I played the platitude on repeat as I wrangled my brain into working on the assigned collage and art class rather than far more fucking important work. But an unfortunate glue spill gave me a great excuse to toss my bloody sweater into a trash bag to be dealt with at home, and the project allowed access to the adhesive shelf to snag some super glue to seal the slice on my palm well enough to be bandage-free for last period, saving Paige from an event roster meltdown during our final team meeting before field day, making my silver sky filled with tiny flying rabbit silhouettes not a total waste of time. Yay. The chaotic, low thumps of competing bass lines filled the school as teams ran through their talent show submissions. Our music joined the nerve-grating jumble for half the period before moving on to, according to Paige Paxman, knower of all things field day, our team's weakest events: the paper airplane challenge, the cheer competition, and the KAT tournament. None of which, thank fuck, involved me, leaving me to work on a profile sketch of someone Isaiah didn't need to know wasn't Uncle Declan, while half listening to Isaiah's thorough explanation of the best routes up the school's climbing wall and the 46er tattoo he'd been saving up to get on his 18th birthday to commemorate his Adirondack Peak accomplishments. Ooh, I want to come back and talk about that here in a second. So, note and moving on. It took Paige, Jason, Tessa, Alex, and me to get all of Paige's completely necessary for the last sprint to field day craft supplies into the trunk of Jason's car. Jason didn't greet the trio of hot coffees on the dash or the box of Argo pastries on the driver's seat with the glee one might expect from a surprise treat drop, just stiff-jawed silence as he passed the box of goodies back to Paige, handed her and me each a drink, and ignored the card taped to the steering wheel as it flopped along with the turns the whole drive back to Kate's. We didn't talk about the Argo delivery while Jason worked on talent show props, Paige finished our KAT shirts, and I made spaghetti and meatballs, which had no chance of being as good as Jason's cooking or Argo treats, but no one died from eating it, and Paige and Jason both continued to accept my snacks right up until I forced the artist to go to bed at 1:30 a.m., making Jason promise not to sneak off his bed / the couch he was way too fucking big to be sleeping on to keep working, and literally dragging Paige to my room while she muttered about stupid fucking morals when a fucking artist was right fucking there. If Paige had asked me to break the ban on competing in an area in which the school has noted your achievement, meaning no participating in a sport if you're on the school's competitive team, in the elite club, or have been given a special commendation, award, or privileges, I would have done it, because fuck getting bumped to AP Art. I owe Paige Paxman 3 wishes, and if she wants me to bring somebody back to life, I'll brave walking into the black pits to find a fucking necromancer. For the record, and to avoid accusations of kindling unnecessary anger, Kate did bring home a huge load of groceries for the teen trio, eating off her wallet, and stay to talk about field day for 20 minutes before fleeing to hide in her study. In fairness to me, and the anger pressing a bursting fucking need to scream up into my throat, Kate didn't A, ask how I was dealing with the fun new PTSD of having been kidnapped less than a quarter mile from the kitchen where we sat, B, update me on any news from the Ethereans tucked away in human law enforcement who were supposed to stop assholes like the kidnappers who'd taken me less than a quarter mile from the kitchen where we fucking sat, and the fucking sicko human hunter that murdered Clara. C, say, by the way, Ella, I promise I believe you about the separate killer-kidnapper theory, and have shoved that brilliant insight down both Sheriff Fuck's and the Etherean Fuzz's throats so many times they now believe you too. D, give Paige and Jason her genuine thanks for staying with me while she was an absent fuck, and then send the humans home. Or both humans to Paige's home, since Jason really didn't seem to want to go to his home, but I couldn't make myself feel guilty for wanting Kate to send him away because, by every fucking measure, Jason would have been better off not staying in an Etherean's house when all signs pointed to a lingering Etherean danger. E. Realize that just because I'm a Sybil who tries to remember everything her dead parents drilled into her fucking head so I can pretend I have my shit together doesn't mean I'm not a traumatized kid who's fumbling for fucking sanity and can barely fucking breathe, and that every day Kate avoided me dusted a fresh, new sprinkle of abandonment issues to the I was fucking kidnapped trauma cookie, adding more fuckery to the Ella can't fucking breathe problem. But how the fuck am I supposed to breathe when I had a chance to keep my world from burning and just wasn't good enough? But at least I've learned not to hate myself for it, because no matter how hard I fucking tried, I was never going to be good enough. I will never gain the strength to have stopped hell from coming. Breathe, Ella. Breathe, Ella. Just keep repeating it till you fucking die, Ella. Fuck, 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 fuck. I pretended not to wake up when Paige's alarm went off at 5 a.m. and almost managed to drift back to sleep before she crept out of the room to catch her 5:15 ride to school with whatever hyper-devoted member of the Student Activities Committee agreed to drive all the way up to Kate's so fuck-ass early in the morning. But as soon as my room was human-free, sleep lost all appeal. Why rest before an epic day of humaning when you can sit on your bathroom floor sketching the face of the man you watched bleed out 13 short days ago? The bathroom floor because I didn't want Jason or Kate spotting my bedroom light under the door to the kitchen. K1's face because Sheriff Fuck had claimed the sketch of my burnt kidnapper I'd been working on in my hospital bed, and Kate hadn't let me get a picture of it before she handed it over. Once the new sketch had reached an acceptable level for my needs, I moved on to getting ready for the day, starting with slicing my finger open and smearing blood on my face and chest because that's what it takes for me to survive a fucking day, which is absolute bullshit, but I'm just that fucking broken or stupid or I lost track of the ritual's phrasing. Fuck. I skipped back a few words. With anchor found, I dragged my bloody finger down my collarbone for Sybil's sight to stay present bound. Sneakers, leggings, tank, hoodie, warm socks. I ran through the Paige-given dress code as I wrapped a tissue around my nicked finger and fanned the blood on my chest with my other hand, giving the ritual a moment to set, which no one had ever even implied would help, but it makes sense to me. Mentally selecting my outfit before wiping the blood away and stashing the sullied washcloth at the bottom of my hamper. Jason's footsteps thumped around the kitchen as I dug out my most dispensable leggings, grabbed an extra thinner pair of socks for climbing time, put the K1 sketch in an envelope and tucked it and the socks into my backpack, all while emotionally prepping for whatever excitement or panic kept accelerating the pace and clatter of Jason's movements. "Morning, teammate." Jason shoved a travel mug and a plate of eggs, toast, and apple slices into my hands as soon as I stepped into the kitchen. Not the worst greeting. "Our presence has been requested ASAP." "Why?" I headed straight for the front door, placing my back to Jason, squashing any risk of staring at the way his long-sleeve athletic shirt stretched across his chest, hugged his abs, and displayed the curves of his gym-honed biceps. Okay, I'm sorry. What? I'm giving her her moment, okay? What?
There is a difference between appreciating a bicep and drooling.
She's drooling.
She is not drooling.
And displayed the curves.
If she's drooling, it's because it's too fucking early in the morning.
There's bread pudding.
He made her bread pudding.
He did. And displayed the curves of his gym-honed biceps. No clue. Jason darted around me as we reached the front door, ramming his feet into his shoes, then taking back my breakfast. The text just said, "For fuck's sake." Lovely. I yanked on my sneakers. Jason kept my breakfast hostage as we stepped into the damp morning chill and I locked Kate's door behind us. "Are you excited for field day?" Fucker finally surrendered my coffee. I sipped the precious brew, allowing him continued custody of my food as we headed to his car. "Is that a no?" he prompted as he opened my door and I slid into the passenger seat. "No excitement?" "Is excitement warranted?" I clipped my seatbelt. "Do you like competition?" Fucker kept my plate just out of reach. "Yes, not as much as food." "Can you tolerate relentless school spirit?" "When necessary, and a hell of a lot better well fed." "Are you prepared to give your all to fulfilling Paige Paxman's childhood dream of going on the new moon astronomy overnight on this, her second to last try?" Fuck. My non-caffeinated brain fumbled through 2 seconds of mental gymnastics, balancing my loyalty to Paige with the reality of my fucking life. "All limits shall be pushed in the name of Paige Paxman." "Then it's going to be a great damn day." He returned my fucking food. I used the time it took him to cut around to his side of the car to shoddily reconsider my plan for the day, shoot a quick plea to the cosmos to help me keep all fuckery to a minimum while making sure Paige's dream came true, and shovel as much food as possible into my face before Jason could steal my fucking plate again. Jason got in, started the car, and pulled away from the house before retesting my semi-lying skills. Just promise you'll let me know if today gets to be too much. But lo, heed, and mwahaha, the silly human's ambiguous language meant fucked up little me had no trouble swallowing my guilt along with a sip of perfect cappuccino, because too much could easily be taken as too much to literally survive, making promise completely true. If I was afraid of my imminent demise, I would totally tell Jason, probably by screaming at him to run from whatever horrors had descended to kill me, but I would definitely let him know. We rode in easy silence past the Ella snatching spot and over the first 2 of the 3 bridges it took to reach school. Can I ask you something? My mouth formed the question before my brain formally decided it was a good idea. Whatever you want. Jason smiled like I wouldn't notice the tension in the corner of his eye. If you need me to become an excuse for you not to go to the party at the Argo tonight, you'll tell me, right? I waited, eating my 2 big breakfast, giving him time to process whatever shitstorm, moral or emotional, I'd sparked, not prodding until we'd reached the 3rd bridge. Should I take that as a resounding no? Silence. 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 A building sense of worry that Jason had somehow lost the ability to hear/speak/I didn't actually exist and was only a ghost riding in the car of a living boy who couldn't see or hear me threatened to expel my pounded food. My father has made my attendance mandatory. Jason's words came out flat, cold. I'm sorry. Shit, wrong thing to say, Ella. Thanks, Jason said, like I hadn't just fucked up. At least there'll be a few hundred other students as a distraction. And if you're ever in need of an emergency extraction, I have about 12 more magic pity coupons that can get me and a group of up to 3 out of any social situation. The pinching behind Jason's eye didn't ease as he laughed. I twisted to set my empty plate on the floor of the back seat. We should work out a signal. A whistle would be too obvious. Code word, hand signal, tug your ear. A tiny hint of the eye-corner tension faded as he laughed again. Ooh, I know! I slap-patted his arm like an overexcited puppy tail. He laughed harder. I kept going. Put a rose behind your left ear. If you switch the rose to your right ear, I'll know it's go time. He caught my hand. My heart slammed against my ribs, then punched up into my throat. I'd done it. I'd gone too far. Snapped the thread that held Jason together. But then Jason squeezed my hand and so quickly part of me hoped I'd imagined it, brushed his lips across my fingers. Thanks. My heart banged higher in my throat as fear morphed into something so much worse. He let go of my hand. Speak. Use words. Anytime, was the shit response I managed. Okay, I'm actually going to pause right there. So, the reason I delivered anytime that way is because I think that her fear is turning into longing. Am I correct?
No.
Whatever. I'm totally correct. She has the hots for him. It's those biceps. If I were smarter...
There is a difference between having the hots for someone and being like, well-built male, and then being like, I am falling for you, you fragile little human.
Mm-hmm. Okay. She has the hots for him.
If that's what makes you happy, baby.
Anytime, was the shit response I managed. If I were smarter or a better friend, I would have studied his face, tried to find a way to help him or at least not make things worse. But selfish, stupid me dove right to shoving the visions I was smart enough not to acknowledge right back into the deep, dark hole where they belonged. See? My point exactly. That is my point.
That doesn't mean that that's not what she was referring to. It just means that her emotion isn't longing.
Okay. Breathe, Ella. I'm going to let you have that delusion. Breathe, Ella. You're just the author. Breathe, Ella. Breathe, Ella. You're fine, Ella. You're a fuck, but you're fine. What kind of greeting do you think we'll get from Paige? I asked, like a master of casual, as we sped down the usually packed road to school. Frantic, frustrated, creepily determined. Good. As expected. I downed half my remaining cappuccino, hyping up for supportive friend mode. The dozen or so cars already in the parking lot didn't block my view of the swath of trees in front of the football field where Mr. Burton and Mr. Barrett looked super thrilled to be installing a 7-foot-high, steep-sloped wall. The choir teacher seemed to be reconsidering her career choice as she strung surveyor tape between trees, and Mrs. Kowalski held a purple clipboard and watched with completely non-sarcastic early morning glee. By the school's front entrance, 2 freshmen clutched one of the balloon pillars flanking the Welcome Laureldale High Families sign. The pair either locked in a bitter battle over balloon placement or in the middle of the kind of breakup that leaves deep scars and social rifts. Near the still broken windows of the charred teacher's lounge, where a hand-painted poster noting the repair's fundraiser hung framed by the damage because why miss a chance for cash, another sign marked a line of tables as the spot for the 10:45 a.m. paper airplane event. I don't see her. Jason turned to park near the front of the school. Want me to ask where to go? I pulled out my phone, ready to swipe to one of my few allowed message threads, but a frantically waving figure caught the corner of my eye. Noah, running our way, hammer in one hand, cell phone in the other, both flailing overhead like a plea for rescue from a demon horde. No, no, no. I thought, because I'm a dumbass, that I'd fallen into a vision, one I'd seen before, but it was the wrong time of day. The panic on Noah's face had a flustered flush, not a terrified pallor. He clutched a mallet in his hand, not a proper hammer. Too late. The 3 seconds it had taken me to figure out I hadn't fallen into a fucking vision wasted my chance to avoid falling into a fucking vision. Noah, real Noah, ran past the unlit parking lot light, and the early morning sun vanished, stealing the comforting coffee-scented warmth of Jason's car, slamming cold, damp, gasoline-flavored air into my face. A sickly yellow glow glinted off this Noah's knife and hammer. The fear I hadn't been able to find on the real Noah's face filled this Noah's eyes as he screamed into the darkness, his gaze sweeping the black, searching for something. Fuck. Icy needles pierced my flesh, stabbing deeper as I tried to turn, wanting to see what horror had his breath coming in such terrified pants. I could hear the air catching in his throat. I was closer to him, so much closer than I'd been in this place, this vision before. Pain cinched around my lungs. Fuck. No visible wounds for Noah. No helpful age lines pointing to a distant date either. Fuck. Air. I needed air. Luca! Noah raised his hammer over his head. Air. Air. Breathe, Ella. But my lungs wouldn't accept the tainted air. Fuck. Breathe, Ella. Breathe. Breathe. Nope. 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 Luca! Noah's shout thundered around me. Fuck. 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 Air. Fuck air. I need to see. One little glance. That's it. Just turn around, Ella. Simple. Easy. I couldn't do it. The needles pierced down to my bones, skewering me in place, not letting me twist far enough to see why hope flickered through Noah's eyes just before an ear-splitting crack filled the darkness. My scream joined his as he fell, my body trading needle-in-bone pain for nerve-searing fear as reality slammed back into place just in time to hear Jason scream. Oh my God, what a chapter. Like, it feels so just like, okay, it's hectic. We're getting to field day. What the fuck? Like, that's literally the ride. That's literally the ride.
Blah,
just
blah,
crazy.
blah.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So.
It's almost like I have to do that in order to make the podcast formula work.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's so different from writing a normal book.
Yeah,
you know what I
I'm
mean?
sure.
Where it's like,
I sure. I know what you mean. I've written many leatherbound books.
You've written a lot.
I've written a lot. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. Okay. But no, I'm sure it is. And I can, going through the editing process of over 30 novels, I see the difference. Like, I see the difference. Okay. So starting on a completely serious note, when I first read this, I read this as Violet clinging to me like she was ferrying a ward through a sea of furries. And I was like, what? But no, Furies, yes, which makes a lot more sense.
I mean, if you're ferrying people through a sea of furries, the biggest problem you're going to have is making
the
sure
tails.
Well, I was going to say making sure everyone sees and you don't get clocked in the face with a snoot.
Oh, yeah, no snoot.
Yeah, some of the furry snoots, they can't really see when they swing their head. If
Sure.
you get too close to them, you get like a little snoot to the eye. So, you know, those furry suits, they can be an eye-poking hazard over there.
No, I can see that. I mean, I was amazed at our first con to see how many people were sporting their personas. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing at cons. But
well, I think for some people with sensory issues, it's really like, I think for some people it's cosplay, but I think for some people with sensory issues, it like the little helmet and everything, you're controlling everything that's getting through your helmet a lot.
That's interesting.
So I feel like for some people, it's not just their persona is fun. I feel like it's helpful in a comforting way.
That makes a lot of sense. This part just made me laugh. This isn't a huge thing either, but like, none of which, thank fuck, involved me, leaving me to work on a profile sketch of someone Isaiah didn't need to know wasn't Uncle Declan. So I'm just like, it's such a great way of saying what's happening at that moment, that he's like, who's that, Ella? And she's like, my uncle. It's like,
it's my Uncle Declan. He's so cool.
Oh, can you briefly explain the 46er tattoo for people who don't? And you talk about to commemorate his Adirondack Peak accomplishments, but what is that?
So the 46er, it's like a club type thing. Like the Mile High, but for like hiking.
The Mile High.
No, it's like an accomplishment club, but this one you climb stuff.
We got that accomplishment if it's just the Mile High while hiking. Sorry, continue. What?
You mean we've hiked more than 3,562 feet?
Do you know what the Mile High Club is?
Yes.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Go. Go with the 46er thing. What?
Okay, anyway, but it's like you've done like the top 46 peaks. So if you do all of the 46 peaks and you summit them, then you're a member of the 46 Club.
Which is cool.
Which is an elevation-based accomplishment. Only this one doesn't require breaking any aviation laws.
Is that really breaking an aviation law? We should read that because I'm sure it is, but I wonder how explicitly is that law written, you know?
I don't know, because I mean, as long as you're locked in a bathroom, they can't say two people in the bathroom because if someone needs assistance.
Yeah, it's true.
So I guess.
I mean, would it be public indecency?
No, because you're locked in a bathroom.
Sure, but, well, all right.
I don't know. How weird. What a thing.
What a thing to bring up.
Answer, post on the comments about the legality of it.
If you are a flight attendant or a pilot, or you just happen to know a lot about planes and
about aviation law.
Yeah. I just said aerial laws. Whatever.
Okay.
Okay. Here's something I didn't bring up in our read aloud, but I was like, I wonder. I owe Paige Paxman 3 wishes, and if she wants me to bring somebody back to life, I'll brave walking into the black pits to find a fucking necromancer. Is that in reference to an actual, like, are you using black pits as in like the darkest spots of hell, or is there an actual place where necromancers are known to live, and are necromancers real?
Yes.
They are real.
Yes.
Is the black pits a reference to an actual place they live?
More like a concept of a place.
Okay. Just because I was like, oh, that's funny. And I went, I bet she's not being funny.
Like, it's not like, oh, they live in 101 Box Black Pits Avenue. But like, Thank you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Okay. Real quick about Kate's absence. I refuse to believe, and I'm not expecting an answer, but I refuse to believe. I love that your face is so set.
That's so wise that you're like, I'm not expecting an answer.
I refuse to believe that she is just being this stupid. Like, she clearly knows she's not a parent, but she clearly knows how people are. Like, she is in charge of a whole lot of them. Didn't they used to like throw parties and stuff over at their place? Mm-hmm. She is socialized, so she knows how to read social cues. So what the fuck is going on? Like, there is something with her that we do not know. And I am just fascinated. And I hate that Ella is so blinded by her frustrations and her near hatred of Kate at this point, that she's not seeing that Kate is being gone for a reason, you know? Like, it's interesting. It's a fun, I don't know, it's a fun thing. It's a fun way to color that. You have anything to add to that?
No.
Yeah, okay, I didn't think so. So the in editing this, we got to the ritual, the phrasing, with anchor found for Sybil's sight to stay present bound. And I left a note, and I don't know if we've talked about this, but the way that Megan and I pass edits back and forth to each other, and then she does this with our other editors too, unless they request it in a different format. But with Microsoft Word, you can do track changes, and you can also leave comments for each other. So I left a comment saying, hey, we need to make sure that this matches the other times that it's been said. And Megan reminded me, tell them what you told me.
That the Ella's blood ritual to sort of prevent visions has never actually been seen in the book.
Yeah.
Because the only time that we saw it was when I was doing like the testers of how do I want to start this book. And I wrote a few different versions of the first chapter. In one of the versions of the first chapter, you see Ella doing the ritual. And so that's where it's appeared before, but only in podcast land. So I did alter the wording of it a little bit just because I had never put it in the book. So I took a little bit of license with the whole canon thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because since I knew I wasn't using that chapter, I hadn't really delved as much into it.
Yeah.
So I did change that. But yeah, the ritual had only ever been seen in that one unused.
And it was funny because I did not remember that it hadn't been seen elsewhere.
It took me a while to like make sure that I hadn't fucked it up somehow. But yeah, it was only ever seen there.
I'm glad that you found that out. I cannot tell you the number of things that Megan, I love you so much. But Megan will be like, is this right? Does this track? And I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I have to go back through book one and find, and it's not always as simple as Control F. Let me look up this word. I have to go back and find instances of it, like humaning, the use of humaning.
I wanted to make sure that humaning was the right phrase,
and that's not what was in here. You had something else playing human or something.
I wasn't sure how she used it.
But the fact that, and I'm proud of you that you were like, wait a minute, does she talk about doing this? She must talk about doing this before. She talks about
the very similar about like, I'm going to have to do a lot of physical things while pretending to be human.
Yeah.
Which is extra tiring because it's like not giving 100%. It's like giving in the 60s, but acting like 100.
It's the reason why I can't mark.
And so it's one of those like, it's that same vibe. So I wanted to have her say it the same way. And I couldn't remember the exact phrasing I'd used before.
Yeah. This is just another fun thing. Are you excited for field day? Fucker, finally surrendered my coffee. And I'm like, that is just Megan.
Well, he tempts her further with him by like giving her food, and then he takes
Oh my God, he's doing the
back.
swimming pool thing too? That's so rude.
Like, come on, we got stuff, let's go. And then he takes it back.
This part, if I was afraid of my imminent demise, I would totally tell Jason, probably by screaming at him to run from whatever horrors had descended to kill me, but I would definitely let him know. And I laughed, and Megan went, what? It counts.
It does. Being like, demons coming to kill me, you should go. Like, that counts as saying, like, she's saying coming to kill me.
Yeah.
So she's telling him, like, not necessarily in the kindest, most socially acceptable terms of like, I'm so sorry. I'm about to be murdered. You should save yourself.
Oh my gosh.
But like, she'd tell him.
Here's a fun thing that you don't think about until you're writing / editing.
And then it drives you crazy.
The pinching beside Jason's eye didn't ease as he laughed. Clearly, it's going to be, and it's probably beside both of his eyes. But technically, this being a first-person novel, you can't see it. So it's like...
Well, unless we wanted to go completely unrealistic Hollywood, and he just drives perfectly while staring at her full on.
Oh my gosh, what was the movie that... And it's not just one, but the movies that take advantage of that trope and actually have them get hit. I love it when it's so effective. It's so effective, and it scares the shit out of me every time.
Yes, but because he's being a good driver, like a good sheriff's son should be, and following the road rules and looking ahead, she can only see the corner of one eye.
Yeah, so you can't say the corners of his eyes.
All of it off of profile, but then say pinching the corner of Jason's eye is like, wait a second.
Does he only have one eye? Is he a cyclops?
He lost an eye?
Yeah.
He has like an eye patch. Is it temporary? Is it pink eye? Is it a wound? Like, what's happening here? But really, it's just he's a good driver.
Yeah.
But it does fuck with my brain in its own special
Well, no, mine
way.
too. And it's one of those, like, it's like, well, we have to make a decision. And maybe it's not the decision that other people would have made. But for us,
true.
You're doing it from a first person perspective, and
So
you can't see both eyes. So describing what's happening to the left eye is not really...
Well, no, it would be his right eye. Oh, wait, yes. Describing what's happening to the left eye would not be
really be
possible. I'm sorry, I spoke over you.
Oh, that's okay.
Now you know what it's like to be a woman.
Pull it. No, I don't. I never will. Please.
You're right.
You know that I never will. I'll never know that.
The first time a menstrual cramp shot down to your knee while you were walking,
I'd
die. Crumple and die. You'd be done.
Yeah, correct. I have never pretended to be anywhere near as tough as any woman I know. What was my podcast? But I already talked about that. Okay, I brought that up. The fact that she has the halts for him. By the school's front entrance, 2 freshmen clutched one of the balloon pillars flanking the "Welcome Laureldale High Families" sign. The pair either locked in a bitter battle over balloon placement or in the middle of the kind of breakup that leaves deep scars and social rifts. First of all, that's funny on just a surface level. It's funny because, like, what a visual to be like, oh, yeah, I can see that. But also social rifts, they're freshmen.
Exactly.
What social? They're starting their
their friendships as freshmen. If they have a really bad breakup first semester freshman year before everything's solidified, any mutual friends are going to have to pick one side or the other if it's messy.
Yeah, sure.
They are not bond strong enough, especially if they've all just transferred out of the same middle school.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to be cool high schoolers, so their bonds are morphing and breaking apart as their new social structure, like, transfers to a new school, but they're all the same. Like, that's fucked.
Yeah, that is fucked. Okay, so I had the exact same... Stop moving.
I'm sorry.
I know, no, you're in pain. Don't stop moving. You keep moving. I'll edit out the clips of the mic. Noah, I had the exact same reaction that Ella did after this. Noah running our way, hammer in one hand. As soon as I read that, I went... oh shit. And the fact that I read right after that, Ella go, no. I was like, oh no, it's happening. I knew that it wasn't going to be that moment, but it was very interesting because I knew it was daytime and that's not how it happened. But it was very interesting.
I'm proud of you for remembering it was daytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the coolest thing. So when we finished this chapter, I said to Megan, I was like, oh, I'm definitely talking about that on the podcast. She was like, what? I was like, no, I'll tell you on the podcast. She's like, no, I want to know. So I caved because I do that. But
because I have a boo-boo.
You do have a boo-boo. The needles pierced down to my bones, skewering me in place, not letting me twist far enough to see why hope flickered through Noah's eyes just before an ear-splitting crack filled the darkness. My scream joined his as he fell, my body trading needle and bone pain for nerve-searing fear as reality slammed back into place just in time to hear Jason scream. And it gives, first of all, hopefully you had the same reaction that I did of the, what? And now I have to wait a week? This is BS. Thank you so much.
Podcast.
But also, podcast. But the way that you're able to put into text the discombobulation that Ella feels whenever she is being jerked around by time, you know, because that's what's happening. Her vision, her brain is being tugged between past, present, and future. And so how discombobulating must that be? And my gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, how many Sibyls just go mad?
Well, that's the thing, is that, like, you can die from Sybil shit if you push your body too far, but your brain can also just lose track of real and now and not and what. And then the more you lose track of it and the more scrambly your brain gets because you can't figure it out, the less you're going to be able to keep things out.
Yeah.
So you start spiraling.
Yeah.
Into it just being this mass of visions you can't even try to interpret anymore.
Man.
Which is why Ella's parents always focus so hard on keeping visions out.
Right.
Just keep them out to begin with, and then it's not a problem.
Yeah, but she can't.
No, but that was always the goal, was to stop the visions. Not because they didn't want her to be who she was, but because Sybils don't have long life / sanity expectancies.
Ugh, horrible. Poor Ella. Oh, man.
And especially when you're compared to like werewolf parents who are going to be like stronger, healthier, have longer lives. And then this Sybil kid who's kind of born doomed.
You know, it's interesting. Is this yet another instance of you writing your autoimmune, like your life experience with that, into a book?
I don't think so, because I think it's more like candles burning too bright, where it's almost like that child prodigy burnout.
Sure.
More than anything of like this, okay, you're doing all this, your brain is crackling so fast, and it just comes to the point where your brain just cracks.
Yeah.
Of like pushing it so hard. And so it's more that for me of like, they're useful, so they're used like workhorses.
Sure.
And they get pushed too far.
Yeah. They're Clydesdales.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all that I have. Before we talk about the events you have coming up, was there anything else that you wanted to add about the chapter, or anything that you're excited about for next week?
No, because I'm not good about talking about that without giving spoilers away. Because I very carefully write the chapters to not do spoilers.
I appreciate that.
I'm going to talk extemporaneously. Like, that's not great for me.
That's a good SAT word.
I just pulled out my indie soapbox for like 20 minutes when I wasn't supposed to.
I loved it. It was great.
Oops.
Okay, so then why don't you tell people the events you have coming up? There's one this Saturday and then one in a couple of weeks
towards the end of October.
Yeah.
So if you are in the Orlando area, there is at the Avedo Mall, they're actually doing a huge author fair at the Avedo Mall.
Yeah, which is awesome.
They're doing a whole literary fair, and there's going to be panels from authors. There's going to be author booths, all kinds of really cool stuff. And then I also have Orlando Reads Books coming up, and that is for authors and for readers. So there's a whole reader day with like reader panels with some authors on it, but there are also 2 industry days. So if you are an author or want to be an author, then there's going to be some really cool stuff there. Of course, coming up as well in the books, we have Miami Book Fair in November. So keep that one on the book. If you don't know anything about Miami Book Fair, it's amazing. It's wonderful. If you are a book lover, it needs to be on your bucket list for trips. So check out the Miami Book Fair.
Something like 200,000 people over 3 days, 4 days.
It's amazing.
Nuts.
Ooh, link it in the show notes.
Miami Book Fair will do.
Yes.
Yeah, it is awesome. It is our best event of the year. I love it. I love meeting the readers there.
Well, because there's like the most fun event of the year, the coolest event of the year,
which
the most important event of the year, the biggest event of the year.
Miami,
So it's like they all fit different niches.
And also Florida SuperCon is great, and
but that's the one that feels like family. It's like one does
feel
like
very
the old
family.
home family.
It really, it is. It's so fun.
I love it.
Okay, so I think that's it for us. So why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Sure. So you can check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and of course on Substack. Please do follow Page by Page on your favorite podcast platform and rate the podcast, let other people know to find us, and comment on the episode. Even if you say, nice episode, or wow, Megan, huge soapbox going there, it helps boost the algorithm so that the computers know to help more people find us here at Page by Page.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And as always, thank you for reading.